Now we have Sarah Suhan, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Autistic Society. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Elena would have mentioned the event which took place yesterday. Could you tell me how that went?
It was well attended. We usually make it a day for our members. And so in addition to the formal function, we also had an Easter egg hunt afterwards for our young members and adults with autism.
Yeah, and there are two events coming up.
Yes, we actually have an autism awareness walk happening in Point Fortin, and that will be on Friday, 12th April from 2 p.m. This one is being spearheaded by our South Branch, which is the Life Skills Center.
Okay, that's April 12th, 2 p.m. Point Fortin. Where in Point Fortin?
It's on Baptist Road, number 25 Baptist Road is where they are meeting, and they are actually going to be walking through Point Fortin. And
there is the other event?
Yes, we are actually planning another event which will be held in San Fernando, and this is going to be in partnership with the Non-Nubis Foundation and the Naparima Girls College.
And we'll probably get some more information about that as we get closer and closer to that. Now, there is something that people talk about a lot, and they talk about the Autism Spectrum, and I just wanted to get an idea of what that is so people would understand when people talk about the Autism Spectrum. What is that?
Right. So autism is a spectrum disorder, and one of the reasons why it's considered a spectrum disorder because individuals with autism have perhaps neurological differences that are individual to themselves. It is a neurological developmental condition, and so it affects people in various ways. For example, it can affect cognitive processing, so the way we are able to process our thoughts. It could affect our sensory processing, meaning the way that we receive and give out information from our external environment. And it also affects social and communication skills. So depending on where someone is on the spectrum, they may have greater or less requirements in terms of how much support the person might need.
The spectrum is something that, as I mentioned, we hear a lot about, but people don't really understand it. So it's good to have this conversation. But another conversation is people don't understand what autism really is. You know, what is autism?
So as I said, it's a neurodevelopmental condition. It's one that affects the way people think. It also affects the way people experience the world around them. One of the things that we have been focusing on this year is neurodiversity, which is a term that not many people have heard before, but it really talks about neurological differences not being a disease to be fixed, but just a different way of understanding that people just think differently. And it isn't that there is something inherently wrong with someone who's autistic. It just means that actually society is not catering for their needs.
And probably goes back to our culture here in Trinidad and Tobago, but it's a conversation that we're going to continue to have during this month. April is designated Autism Awareness Month, so we'll continue to have conversations like this to continue to inform the population of Trinidad and Tobago about what is taking place. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sarah Suhan, Public Relations Officer of the Autistic Society, for coming on this morning and sharing that bit of information with us.